In the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia, the State of Georgia versus Diamante Kendrick, emergency motion for bond comes now. Defendant Diamante Kendrick, buying through his attorney, and moves the court to grant a reasonable bond and said cause for the following reasons. 1. Defendant was arrested on June 20th, 2024 for the following offenses: aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and riot in a penal institution. 2. Defendant has limited previous criminal history. Defendant is a Georgia resident and has substantial family ties. 4. Defendant has no reason to contact victim or witnesses. 5. Defendant was in custody for 22 SC 1835-72, in which he was found not guilty on all counts. But for his arrest on said case, defendant would not have been in custody. Defendant has been in continuous custody since May 9, 2022, and during this time has been a victim of a stabbing and has had several threats of harm made to him. 6. On December 1st, 2024, Mr. Kendrick was stabbed in his head at the Fulton County Jail. It is evident that the Fulton County Sheriff's Office cannot keep Mr. Kendrick safe. Also, the conditions reported in a DOJ report issued on November 14, 2024, explicitly concluded the following. The Justice Department's report concluded that Fulton County and Fulton County Sheriff's Office allow unsafe and unsanitary conditions at the jail. As a result, people incarcerated in Fulton County Jail suffered harms from pest infestation and malnourishment and were put at a substantial risk of serious harm from violence by another incarcerated people, including homicide, stabbings, and taking it from somebody that didn't want to give it up. The unconstitutional and unlawful conditions at the Fulton County Jail have persisted for far too long, and we are committed to working with the Fulton County and Fulton County Sheriff's Office to remedy them. If granted a bond, defendant will follow all conditions deemed necessary by this honorable court. Defendant will appear at all future court dates, will not commit any criminal offenses while out on bond, will not leave the jurisdiction of this court, will not be a danger to any witness, persons, or property. Respectfully submitted this ninth day of December 2024. Respectfully submitted, Caleb Bumpus. Now, normally, with stuff like that going on, at least Mr. Kendrick would get a freaking bond. But they're not even doing that. The court is acting petty. Let's just be fair. Now, maybe they're not. Maybe saying somebody caused a riot and whatever, because they're essentially trying to paint the illustration as though Diamante Kendrick is the aggressor. All right, cool. But I think what's going to happen is ultimately, since he got found not guilty and not given a bond before, I think what's going to happen is he'll get a bond and then ultimately they'll just hit him with time served. But I don't know, because I don't know if Georgia has the point system, because those are some pretty serious charges. But let's go walk down memory lane and take it to Doug Weinstein and see what he was saying originally, because remember, he still has staples in his head.
Got a few staples in his head, but you know, it's a shame that anyone that's held in our jails have to go through that. But he's doing fine.
What do you know about the circumstances surrounding what happened?
Not a whole lot. He just got into it, I think, with somebody else that was in the jail. I don't know what the issue was about. I don't know who started it. I don't know the condition of the other individual or individuals. So, yeah, I'm not very useful right now.
When you answer the question, can you look like about right here?
Over here?
Yeah, we got
just
profile.
Sure.
When you got the call last night, what was your thoughts? I mean, were you concerned? I mean, considering you guys were waiting for a verdict after a year-long trial.
You know, it's very frustrating him being locked up for this long and nearing the end, and then we have an incident like this. And of course, I recalled Shannon's incident from a year ago, and the big issue is that I can't get a lot of information when that's going on. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. I don't know his health. I don't know where he's being taken to. I can't get answers from the sheriff's department. So, you know, the unknown is always concerning. And so that's kind of the situation that we're in. And I'm thinking, here we are at the end of the race, and now this comes up.
You said, sorry, can you be a little more descriptive? You guys like staples, obviously
No, he has staples like around here in his head, or where his staples are at.
He was cut pretty.
I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, and that kind of thing makes me a little queasy, so I didn't spend a lot of time on it. But when I glanced over, he seemed to have 4 or 5 staples in his scalp right around here.
He's here today. He's in court. He's recovering. Talk a little bit about, the fact that at least he's able to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled that it didn't disrupt. First of all, of course, I'm very happy that he's not injured beyond that. But also, I'm thrilled that he's here. We can keep going forward. It doesn't pause things. The jury is clearly on a roll. They're deliberating. They're asking questions, insightful questions. So they're considering the evidence, which is exactly what I want. And he is more calm than I am. So he's taking this very well, and he's not nearly as anxious as I am right now.
How much, I was just gonna say, how much has all of this just been weighing on you over the long weekend, not being in court after having the jury deliberate?
I have tried to distract myself as much as I can, and that's a challenge because I can't take it completely out of my mind. This has been going on for 2.5 years. We've been in trial for 2 years. I've invested a huge amount of time into this, and so waiting on the verdict is very, very, I don't even know how to describe this feeling. It's very stressful.
Finding attorney-client privilege, what did he tell you today about how he's feeling after that incident?
You
Is he
know,
concerned about being in the jail?
Look, he's been in jail about 2.5 years now. He's used to being in there. He knows what it's like, but no one is comfortable in jail. He just as much as like Rudy would do anything to stay out of jail. I mean, Mr. Kendrick Diamante does not want to be in jail, and this incident does not make things any better. But he's there. He knows that, or at least he hopes and is confident that he's going to be out soon. So he'll deal with it for a few more days until finally we'll get him out.
Anything else you want to add? Anything we didn't ask you that you wanted to mention?
Did he say whether it was a piece of the building? Was it a knife that he was stabbed in?
I think it was some type of an improvised shank of some kind, but we didn't get into that a whole lot. Really, I guess what's most interesting about it is his focus is not on that incident at all. His focus is on this jury verdict, listening to the questions, seeing what they are. Like this morning's questions really had nothing to do with Mr. Kendrick, but we still were kind of looking at it just to see where the jury's head was at. He and I are both, when those questions come up and when the jury is watching the video, he and I are watching the jury more than we're watching the video because we want to see their response, how they're reacting to what they're seeing. So again, our focus is on this jury and on this verdict, and that's where it's going to remain. This is a distraction, and he's not really thinking about it that much right now.
I know the questions have nothing to do with your client. However, they're focusing on lyrics. I mean, that was a big part of his and his, how do you feel about that? It's like,
Well, and I'm not blaming this on the jury. The state made lyrics part of the issue in this case. And I guess a big part of me was disappointed that they wanted to hear those lyrics, because my position has always been that those lyrics have nothing to do with this case. They should never have been brought in. We need to get Congress to pass the RAP Act so that there's a higher standard for bringing in that evidence. Georgia really needs to introduce its own version of the RAP Act if Congress is not going to act. And so I guess the jury wanting to hear the lyrics, I'm like, I don't even think it should have been put in front of them. But it having been put in front of them, I can understand them wanting to listen to it. Thank you for that question.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, but shout out to her channel. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a hood lawyer. So I was thinking to myself, what are ways in which he could get out of it? And I'll have to study a little bit more, but I think they dang near, and Doug is good at this, be under the threat of essentially a lawsuit. there are times when we've seen people arrested, some very egregious things, and because they're doing a lawsuit against the jail or the officers or the courts or whatever the case may be, basically the government body that is issuing the holding on somebody, police officer or whatever, that they let it go. There was a lady who, forgive me for fuddling up the damn charges, but basically there was a lady who had some serious charges against her, and basically she was sitting in the back of a car, and the freaking police officers parked. Yeah, I said parked. Parked on some damn train tracks, and boom, hit it. You know what happened? She sued, but not only did she sue, the police officers, the DAs, district attorney, and all that, they dropped the charges. Now, I think if Diamante Kendrick sues, I think they will. But I don't know if that's going to happen. And let's be fair, Kayla and Doug Weinstein, they know law far better than Seti Nash does. But what I will say is this. He's still in jail. He was supposed to be free. His family's waiting on him. And that's just how it's going to be. Do I think he's going to get out? Ultimately, yes. When, though? File for an emergency bond. I don't know. I don't even want to, because I don't want to falsely give hope, and there is no hope or nothing like that. But I just want to say this: Caleb Bumpus doing a great job representing him. Caleb Bumpus has been doing some great things on the back part, and I understand the frustrations that people had with her because of how she was coming off. But the problem is a person's personality versus their professionalism are two complete different things. Kayla might say some things that y'all might not like, that y'all might like. But as far as her attorney skills are going, it seems like they're being put to good use. If Doug Weinstein sat back and said, this is your lane, go ahead, do your thing, I trust you better with it than my own, that says a lot. Because we just seen him beat a RICO. Other than that, I don't know. Because it seems as though there might be some stuff that the jailhouse is looking at, warden and everything, and the district attorney's office that's looking at him like, nah, you're not going to get out of here. How about we do this? So I think worst case scenario, he ends up getting a couple or more. That's this dang thing. I got the little mist thing from Glades and whatever. So whenever y'all see that, Seti Nash, don't smoke at all. So yeah, nah, I got these two little Glade mist things, and they smell amazing. Anyways, yeah, so now I think what's going to happen is he's probably going to get offered some jail time, and then we'll see how that goes. Because technically it could be time served, but that would come off of him accepting this and this going on his record, I think, more than likely. So I don't know, but he should be granted a bond soon. And then I think they'll just come to an agreement at the end of the day and be like, well, time served, he would have got this for this and this for this. Or might stay in jail a little bit longer and then just do it that way. But if that's the case, if I'm Kayla, if I'm anybody, I want him in PC. I know that's not supposed to be with the thugs and the gangsters and everybody and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure he's far removed from all that crap if he is a changed man like he's been seeming like. So hopefully he is. But it need to be in PC just to avoid all this other stuff. From what I understand, you don't let anybody know that you have a release date if you are in jail or in the penitentiary, because they're going to try to get you up out of there. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this one, man. You'll see this video at what, 5K likes? I think that's what we're shooting for every time. Then go ahead and hit the like button. But if you didn't like it, then tell me why you didn't like this video. Here's how you can win an Xbox or a PlayStation. Check it out. Yeah, man, we just hit 200K. We on our way to 300, man. Subscribe today so you can find out how you can win an Xbox or a PlayStation, man. The details are on the way. This is how you know somebody is literally going to be in the drawing. Robin Minter, check him out, man. All we do is go down and we look and we see his subscriptions. Who does he have? That's Seti Nash right here. What also happens, take that off, top commenter, that right here, public subscriber. So that's what you got to do, and make sure you share each video, and then you'll be entered to win. Shout out to Mike. Good luck. Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. I'll catch you on the next one.